So now, friends, let us start another chapter, measures of central tendency. This is the new chapter, and the points which we want to see over here are already you have seen at your school level. Similar concepts we want to see, similar kind of formulas we want to see here, and these are very easy. So you will realize actually everything in this chapter, whatever is involved, are very simple. Okay, so here in this we want to see about mean, median and mode. Okay, these three things we want to see, and this already you have seen it at school level, but you must have forgotten. But now you can recall the concepts of mean, median and mode. So here mean, in the mean there are three, we want to see three types of means: arithmetic mean, geometric mean and harmonic mean. But this mean, arithmetic mean, is very much important because we will use in other chapters also the concept of arithmetic mean repeatedly. Okay, so you must get practice how to find out arithmetic mean. This is also very simple concept because every year one question come from arithmetic mean, and also in other examples we will make use of this concept. Okay, so arithmetic mean, to find out arithmetic mean, you must have seen that we require to collect some of the data from the experiment. Suppose we collect the data of the marks obtained by the students in this classroom by suppose 10 students out of 10 marks. Suppose one has obtained 8 marks, second has obtained 4 marks, 0 mark or 5 marks or 2 marks or 9 marks or 10 marks or 7 marks or 8 marks, whatever these marks are given. So first we require to collect the data from some experiment. After collecting the data, to analyze this, we require the concept of arithmetic mean. That means we require to find out the mean. That means we can determine what is the average marks obtained by the class. All the students might have obtained different marks or similar marks, but the average marks will tell us some prediction that how is our class. Okay, so this kind of data we can collect. Another kind of data, suppose I want to collect the height of the students in the classroom. Another kind of data, that means if we stand at the gate, college gate, and if we count the number of cars passed during each 5 minutes, that means in the first 5 minutes suppose 2 cars have been passed, suppose in the next 5 minutes suppose 10 cars have been passed. So this kind of data we can collect, and then we can study about this. That means on an average how many cars are being passed through 5 minutes. Okay, so this data is known as ungrouped data because this the data have been written randomly in this case. So we will find out the mean by using ungrouped data also directly. So mean can be, this data we will denote as by giving the variable name x. So we will find out the summation of all these x, or sometimes we may also write this as xi. That means this is x1, x2, x3, x4, x5, x6, x7, x8, x9 and etc. Okay, then the mean is denoted by, we simply write mean, or sometimes we also write this as arithmetic mean, equal to mean x bar. We will use the symbol x bar, okay, for the mean. In the another chapters we will also make the use of another symbol mu for the mean, but at present we will make the use of x bar only. That means it tells us that find out summation of all the data given in the collected during our experiment. This is for I equal to 1 to n. That means n number of data are there. Then I equal to 1 is x1 plus x2 plus x3 plus x4 and so on. And then divide it by total number of data n. So in our case, in example, suppose this is 8 plus 4, 12, 12 plus 0, 12 plus 5, 17, 19, 28, 38, 38 plus 7, 45, 45 plus 8. 45 plus 8 means 53. Divided by total number of data 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So divide this by 9. So whatever the value we get by after dividing 53 by 9, this is the value of the mean after ungrouped data. But if sometimes if the data is too large, it is only 9 number of data, so we can add them very simply. But if large data is given, suppose 25 number of data, 30 number of data, 50 number of data, then it takes long time for us to add each of the numbers. Large number of data as well as if we are given large numbers, suppose 1000, 2000, 100, 113, 530 like this, then also it takes more time. Then we require to group this data. To group this data. The ungrouped data we can group in some way. Okay. So this data can be grouped in two ways. Suppose your examination is of 4 marks. That means x can possess the values of x equal 1, 2, 3, 4 marks. Okay? This is marks. 4 marks examination. And suppose this is the number of students. Number of students. Suppose there are 20 students. We know we can suppose 2 students have obtained 0 marks. 4 students have obtained 1 mark. 5 students have obtained 2 marks. 3 students have obtained 3 marks, and 6 students have obtained, or 7, 4 plus 2, 6 plus 5, 11, 11 plus 3, 14, 46. 6 students have obtained 4 marks. So this is the group data. Elsewhere in ungrouped data we could have written 0, 0, 1, 1, 1, 1, 4 times, etc. This is not as ungrouped data, but if we group them, then we can obtain this kind of data. Okay, this is the 4 mark case. And this is the number of data. So we will call this as mark, and we will always denote this as x, and this as the frequency. Frequency. Okay, and we will mostly denote this as fi. That means f1, f2, f3, f4, f5, and this is xi or x. Simply sometimes we may also write this as f only also. No problem is there. Okay. So this data we will call as simple frequency distribution. Simple frequency distribution. But sometimes if the test is of 20 marks, suppose 30 marks, test is of 30 marks. So it also becomes very lengthy for us to write down the marks 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 up to 30. So it becomes very lengthy process. Instead of that, we require to group this data. That means from 0 to 5, 5 to 10, 10 to 15, 15 to 20, 20 to 25, 25 to 30. So these are known as class intervals. Class intervals. Okay? These are known as class intervals. And then we can write down the frequency. Suppose 2 students have obtained marks between 0 and 5, 4 students have obtained, 5 students have 3 students, 6 students, 4 students. So And these are known as frequency. That means 2 students have obtained the marks between 0 and 5, 4 students have obtained the marks between 5 and 10, 5 students have obtained the marks between 10 and 15, 3 students have obtained the marks between 15 and 20. Okay? So here, this is known as grouped frequency distribution. So you can note here that group data, from group data we can obtain two types of group data. First is like this simple frequency distribution, and second is group frequency distribution. And in both cases we can find out the mean by using an appropriate formula. Okay, so here in this case x is given directly in single digit number. Here we are given the values of x within some interval. This is the first value in the interval is known as lower limit, and this is known as upper limit. And the difference between these two is known as the length of the interval. That means here the length of the interval is 5. 10 minus 5 means 5. 15 minus 10 is 5. And one more thing here, you note that whenever 5 marks are given, then in which group should be put, in this group or in this group. But mostly you note that if 5 marks are there, then we will assume ourselves that we can consider in this the students containing the mark from 0 to 5.5. That means 5 we will involve in this group, not in this group. Okay? So this is the concept of simple frequency distribution and group frequency distribution. Are you clear with this? Okay. Now the formula for this, here xi and fi are given, but here xi is not given. So whenever classified, that means group frequency distribution is given, then we can find out xi. First, you will always require to find out xi from these classes. That means the average of this one. That means 5 plus 0 by 2. That means 2.5. 10 plus 5, 15. 15 by 2. That means 7.5. 10 plus 15, 25 by 2 means 12.5. 15 plus 20 by 2. That means 17 by 5. So in this way we can find out the values of x and xi. So in both cases we have the values of xi and fi. So in group frequency distribution, if we have group data, if we have simple frequency or group frequency distribution, then in both cases we require the values of xi and fi. Then the average, that means mean, can be obtained as sigma fi xi. That means we require here to find out fi into xi in the tabular form, the multiplication of these two, and then find out its total. This total we can put over here, divided by sigma fi. Sigma fi means the total of this one, f1 plus f2 plus f3. Okay, are you clear with this? So here small n is the total number of data. Actually sigma fi is also total number of data, because we have grouped them. So this is nothing but 2 students. This also gives a total number of students. Okay. So, and normally in our further study, mostly we will denote sigma fi by capital N. So this can also be written as 1 upon n sigma fi xi. Are you clear with this? Okay. So now let us see the implementation of the formula, and then we will see more examples. Sometimes this process also becomes this formula, multiplication and addition process becomes harder or lengthy, and it takes more time. Then in this case we need to simplify, because if we are given large numbers, big numbers, then we can make the use of this formula, x bar equal to capital A plus 1 upon capital N sigma fi di. Actually, whenever I will write sigma, then you must understand that this is from I equal to 1 to n. I equal to 1 to n. Are you clear with this? Okay. So sigma fi di. 1 upon n. Capital N means sigma Fi, total number of frequency. So here A is what? A is the assumed value. That means from the values of x, in x column we will have to assume one value. Then by assumed value we can find out di. Di means deviation. Di means deviation. Deviation means the difference between xi and a, xi minus a. So the numbers will become, di will become smaller than the original one, and hence it becomes very easy for us to find out the total of Fi. Total means Fi into di, and it also becomes very easy for us to multiply Fi and di manually, because by using calc, no doubt by using calc we can do it, but to avoid the maximum use of calc, it requires for us to do the calculations manually, and to do the calculations manually we will make the use of this formula repeatedly. So you must remember this formula. So any one formula can be used. It can also be used. It can also be used. Both can give us the same answer. Okay. Similarly, for classified group frequency distribution. Actually, this we can also use in both simple frequency distribution and group frequency distribution. But for group frequency distribution, we can again more simplified formula: x bar equal to capital A plus 1 upon n sigma Fi di dash into h. H means the length of interval. As just we have seen the one example 0 to 5, the length was 5. So length of interval. So h is the length of the interval, and di dash is nothing but xi minus a, the deviation, divided by h. So in the classified interval, again the numbers will become very smaller. So you can use any one of these formulas. Okay, and maximum we will make the use of this formula. So in this case we don't require to find out di. Di is xi minus a. Di is xi minus a, and di dash means xi minus a over h. So if we want to make the use of h, that means if we want to make the number again and again smaller, then we can use this concept. Now let us see one example. Suppose here the question is that find the average wages for the construction of the building from the wages paid to the workers. Okay, so this is given in the table, wages, and we are given number of workers. So wages are 100, 200, 300, 400 and 500 rupees, and the number of workers getting such wages is 3, 5, 6, 9, 2. So you can see here that this is the simple frequency distribution. So wages we will denote by x and number of workers by f. So first of all, you can write down the formula whichever you want to apply. Here no doubt the numbers are smaller, so we can use the simplified formula. In the solution, you write down first the formula whichever you want to use. So here we will make the use of Fi xi divided by capital N. So the main aim of aim to write down the formula first is that we can come to know what is we required to find out. So here we will have to construct the table showing the values of xi and fi. These are given here 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, and fi are given as 3, 5, 6, 9, 2. Then draw a line over here. Here also you draw the line. Here we will require a formula fi into xi, and capital N. Capital N is nothing but the total of these two. So 5 plus 3, 8 plus 6, 14. 14 plus 9, 23 plus 25. And fi into xi means this is 100 into 3 means 300. 5 into 2 means 1000. 800, 1800, 3600, and this is again 1000, and we will find out the total of this one. And if you find out this total, then you will get this is 7700. Therefore, we have the mean x bar equal to, we put this value in this formula. So sigma fi xi is 7700 divided by 25, and after by dividing them, you can find its value equal to 308, and this is the answer. So you can find that the problem becomes very simple in this case. Let us see another example of this kind. So you can identify, and my request to all of you that you must note down all the formulas on a single paper. So at a time it becomes very easy to revise these formulas, and that then you can implement them upon the example. So note down all the formulas first. So find arithmetic mean, find arithmetic mean from the following data. The data is given as x and f. X are given as 35, 45, 55, 60, 75, 80. And the values of f are 12, 18, then 6, 3, and 11. Okay. So now we want to find out the arithmetic mean, that is simply mean from this data. So here, first of all we will